Would you or someone you know like to be a guest on Listen Up? If so, give us a call at area code 816-535-1081. That's area code 816-535-1081. Or better yet, email us at listenupblackpeople@gmail.com.
Hello everyone, I'm Kelvin Tiller, owner of Tiller's Mixed Martial Arts here in Kansas City, Kansas. Here at Tiller's Mixed Martial Arts, I offer boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, wrestling, and strength and conditioning. We have affordable pricing for adults and children. I am open Monday through Saturday, so please come out and support, and I hope to see you soon.
Hi, I'm Tova Tanner of Royal Cohesive Network. We are a nonprofit organization that work with youth in the local community. Our 4 cornerstones of sustainability are literacy, youth entrepreneurship, homeschool hub, and also gardening. Our mission is to engage people in educational and professional development to enhance sustainability. You can visit our website at www.royalnetwork.org, or you can follow us on Facebook. You can also email us at info@royalnetwork.org.
Hi, I'm Adrienne Curry.
Hi, and I'm Florence Curry.
And we are the owners of Longevity Nutrition.
Longevity Nutrition is a company that serves healthy shakes, energizing teas, sports nutrition, and we would like to offer you good nutrition.
What better way than to think about your health and become healthier? We're here to service you. We're open Monday through Friday, 6:30 to 5, and Saturdays, 8 to 3.
Yes, and we're going to work on that good nutrition, inside out.
That's right.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? JD Valentine, and I'd like to thank you for tuning in to another episode of Listen Up. So, me and the crew packed up and headed to Omaha, Nebraska to B&B Boxing Academy. There, we met up with former MMA star Houston Alexander to find out a bit more about the man outside of the octagon. For those that don't know, B&B Boxing Academy is also the home of the WBO welterweight world champion Terrence Bud Crawford. So, stay tuned as we chop it up with one of Omaha's toughest and most competitive individuals today, Houston Alexander.
What's up, man?
What's going on, man?
Alexander.
What's going
man.
on?
Look, man, welcome to the show, my brother.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me, man.
Hey, man, you know what? I'm going to say this. You know, number one, I'm excited about being here at B&B Gym, the same gym that Terrence Crawford.
Of course, had to bring you to a great environment, man.
I'm going to tell you, look, before we even get started, man, number one, being in your presence, you know, having us growing up around the same time period, us both having a background,
and us both having bald heads.
Yeah, look at that. And you know, having a background in combat sports.
Yeah.
Man, and being in this environment, man, it excites me, man. I'm happy. I'm happy to see you.
You wanted to go get your bag, didn't you?
I'm happy. Bro, I was get my bag. Yeah.
You wanted to go get the bag with the gloves, man. So
right.
I got mine out in the car right now.
And I'm gonna tell you, man. Look, I talk about you a lot, man, from time to time, especially when I'm.
Hopefully,
when I'm
it's not all bad.
No, it's not all bad.
It's not all bad.
But I'm gonna tell you this, especially when I'm talking with a lot of the youth, because I do a lot of mentoring back home, and
that we do up here too as well.
And a lot of people know you for being the fighter, right? But what I want to do, and what I talk to a lot of the crew about, and I really wanted them to come up here and do this podcast with you, because I want people to know that there's more to Houston Alexander than just being in the ring fighting.
Because
like I said, growing up, because growing up, man, there was some things. Like I said, I never really got a chance to really hang out with you a lot. I wasn't part of that. The Houston app, but I knew you from the break. I knew of you because of the break dancing. I knew of you because of the DJing. I knew of you because you would pop in and out of the boxing gym.
So
I knew you were doing things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the beautiful thing about that is because at a young age, like, I didn't really get into entrepreneurship. I think I was probably about 18.
Okay.
Was when, you know, I was trying to make money as a small business owner. But we knew you were doing
and what was
things.
You doing back in what was you doing at the time?
I was a freelance photographer.
See?
I was doing photography. Well, no, before that, I was teaching martial arts classes. So let me tell you that back. It was 16. I was probably 16, man, when I was teaching martial arts classes. I was an assistant instructor for the Omaha Karate School.
See, that's funny,
and
man.
then I started teaching classes.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, bro. Look, I was teaching classes for this domestic violence organization that was here. Then I was teaching for Omaha Public Schools.
At 16?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was doing that.
That's dope.
But the thing that I always try to highlight is that at a young age, man, you know, I think it's important that we introduce young black men into being entrepreneurs.
Yep.
Because so often, man, we're taught and educated to be employees, or when you get out of school to get a job, you know, and that's just the
but that's
teaching that we
the lay of that's the lay of the land, though. A lot of times you get out of school,
get a job.
Exactly.
No one teaches us, or to be a basketball player, football player, which I'm not knocking that, but being an entrepreneur, but entrepreneurship though.
Yeah.
So what I would like to kind of start out with was kind of give us some background on you growing up, man, coming up as a kid, man. Like I said, you can start wherever you want to start. Not from that silent thing that you did on. We ain't talking about from when you were a cell, but you know, just when you were young, man, and you was like breakdancing.
But when we talk about entrepreneurship, because I know we talked about that. But you know, and what school we had in Omaha that was a part of that system was Tech High.
Right.
See, Tech High had, you know, and when I say that, because you know what program our high school had it to where we had plumbing, construction,
right,
automotive. So they had all those different types of subjects in school for kids to learn those different skill sets, because not everybody's ready for college.
Right.
You know, not everybody might want to be a computer tech. So, but you still had those schools that school, which I really still miss, Tech High, that had all those different programs.
And that's where
that could have been the start to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah,
in that sense.
But you know what's the interesting thing about that, man? You brought that up, because that's where I was taking auto mechanics class. I did 3 years of auto mechanics. Tech High, man. As a matter of fact, what they did was they bussed us from Bryan High School.
Okay.
They bussed us over, and
because I think that was like the subsidiary program they had at the TAC building, which is now what it's called now.
Right. And you know what's interesting about that? We were having a conversation on the way down here, and Miss Monica was talking about we were talking about
we talking about spicy. We talking about spicy.
Spicy, yeah. We talking about spicy.
Okay,
and we were talking about I guess, so to speak, some of the roles that men play in a relationship, right?
Okay.
And we were talking about some of the things that a lot of young men aren't taught growing up that they can apply when dating or courting or going into a relationship or trying to have a relationship with a woman, and that was knowing a lot of the tools that men need to know when you're in a marriage or a relationship, which meaning like how
Are you
to
saying a
repair
lot of the men now that are growing up don't know anything about that?
Like I know cats now that don't even know how to change a set of brakes.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
I know, and to me that's foreign for me. I'm just like, bro, you don't know how to put no brakes.
But what does that have to do with a relationship?
Those are some of the roles that we play, especially when you're talking about saving money or not. Because like I think right now, what is it to change a set of brakes? About $200, $150.
I'm not for sure.
Yeah, I'm not for sure. I've heard some people tell me that it's like $200. I'd be damned if I hire somebody to put a set of brakes on my car for $200.
But
something that takes me 30 minutes to an hour.
So what you're saying is the fact that you're able to do that, it maybe can help you in a relationship.
Those are things. Those are benefits.
Benefits.
Those are benefits to that relationship.
Okay.
So when not only is it something that you can take away as a trade to make money, but it's something that I think as young black men we can take away as a tool to use to save money.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you don't have to pay that $150, $200. So
if you can do it yourself.
But not. But yeah, that right. If you can do it yourself. But those things have, like you said, those things aren't there no more.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Those trades
so the question is,
aren't in schools anymore.
Why do you think they've taken that away from us, man?
I think it's been the computer age. 10, 15 years ago, they kind of knew that we were going to be in a situation to where you were going to have computers running the country. Computers, we're holding on to held computers every single day. You know what I'm saying? And I think that the life has gone the way of the computer. And you got Roger Troutman back in '85 talking about computer love. How are people meeting each other? How are people meeting each other in 2020?
Computer love.
Computer love on the internet. So again, I think a lot of people have gotten away from that, but you need to bring the trades back. Okay,
yeah, we do need to.
You know why? Because you still need somebody to fix the damn toilet.
Yeah, but you know what though? Let me say this though. But more importantly, man, I think
fixing cars. You still got to do the physical.
Bringing the trades back, I think also would give like for example, you have people like right now, especially like young teenage men who can't find jobs and stuff like that. We got, for whatever reason, because of the climate that we live in now, man, sometimes you got people that won't hire you because your skin color. They don't hire you because your name. They look at the application because your name. And we've seen these statistics. But if you have a trade, man, at least you can use your trade. Like I said, you had trade.
You can control your own destiny. Right. If you have your own trade. If you have a trade.
And like I said, with you growing up and with the things that you do, man, that's multiple streams of income. So if you're not working, doing this thing right here, you got this over here. I'm doing this.
Exactly.
And I'm doing that. So you have that multiple streams of income, which is very important. And see, we're not taught that. The importance of having multiple streams of income.
Is it the household or is it society doing it? See, who is not teaching us?
I'm going to say both.
Is it society or is it?
I'm going to say both. Because you have society that took away the trade, man.
Yeah, you're right. Right.
Society took away the trade.
Or did they not take away the trade? They just didn't force it upon kids in the schools.
Well, it was optional.
I don't know.
It was optional.
Okay.
I took auto mechanics, house wiring, wood shopping. That's because that's what I wanted to do.
Something you wanted to do.
Right.
So, but again, I think computers have just pretty much taken over with the landscape now.
So, okay, let me ask you this. So, Give us some background on what it is that you do. Your multiple streams of income.
Okay.
What is it that now outside of the fighter? Because we're gonna get to the fighter.
Okay, that's
I want to know the other stuff.
Easy. Well, man, starting with the Houston Alexander Foundation. Something that it took years to get a nonprofit together. And that's I think starting with that first is something that was needed. Right. Because I do so many things, and I think the Houston Alexander Foundation started with the idea of us going to the schools and teaching the kids about hip hop culture. Right. So that's one thing that we keep going. Doing a podcast. You got to get the information out there, and I think what the pandemic has done is put everybody on the same level playing field. So you got to play with the podcast, right? So and that's what we're doing as well. And then I've been DJing forever, man. So and with the shouts out to all the DJs that I took a little bit from over the years, right? But yeah, been DJing forever, and been doing art. So I've been doing graffiti art forever, but from time to time again, I'll do a piece. But it just things. I never just stayed in one lane. I just try to go here, go there, because I don't like staying in one lane.
So now, did you have a particular person or a particular experience that kind of inspired that?
B Street.
B Street, boy.
B Street. The more movies, growing up as a kid, we grew up in the culture,
right?
The hip hop culture, and one of the first movies I saw was B Street, and and that was it was a portrayal of the hip hop culture. Then Breaking and Breaking Part 2. So those are a few of the films growing up as a kid that inspired me to do the things that I'm doing today.
Now,
even as a grown adult.
So now, did that inspire the art piece?
Yeah, man, of course.
So you watch.
Who didn't want to be Rainbow? Who didn't want to be Rainbow from B Street? Come on, man. Come on, man. If you go back to B Street, there was Rainbow, the graffiti artist. I was, I was a drawer anyway. So and I think I just gravitated towards spray painting on the walls.
Now, see, that's interesting. So did you draw like in school? Did you draw?
Yeah, well,
what did you do?
as far as graffiti art, there was a gentleman named Joe Navarro who showed me how to do graffiti art. So you said Joe from LA.
I didn't know he did that.
Yeah, man, Joe, man, please. Joe showed me how. Joe Navarro showed me how to put to structure graffiti pieces together, and he showed me how to break dance.
Right.
But B Street again inspired a lot of kids coming up in the culture. Breaking and Breaking Part 2 inspired a lot of kids coming up in the culture. So that was something that was immediate after watching it.
Okay. So okay, let me be a little personal. So when you said you watched Beat Street, and that's what inspired you.
Yeah.
As many of us, brown-skinned men, black men, we grew up in single-family households.
Okay.
So, would you say that television, in a sense, because for a lot of us, television is our mentor.
Okay.
So, would you say that, in a sense, television might have mentored you a little bit?
I think.
Then who's your mentor?
No, hold up. Television amused us. Us coming up in our generation, television amused us. Okay, we were outside. We were out playing football. We were out playing basketball. So, and not saying that
bikes
every generation is different except for the technology. But we were out doing our thing. You know what I'm saying? So television was just it was that we just watched it.
Right.
But again, I was inspired by movies and watching characters, man. And so I didn't really have a mentor growing up. My mother was a mentor. She showed me hard work. But I was imitating, just like all of us. We were imitating movies. Or you could have watched The Karate Kid back in the day and wanted to get involved with martial arts, or Bruce Lee, or you could have watched Tyson and wanted to be involved with that. So these are just things you gravitated towards what you saw on television and what you try to emulate.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But and that's the beautiful thing, man. I think about the era in which we grew up in, without the technology. Is that
I was self-aware.
Right.
Yeah, I was self-aware of what I gravitated towards and what I wanted to do. It was just something that was in me already.
Yeah. And I think that's good. That's good, man. That's cool. But it's like we're growing. When I look at the people that I grew up with and the mentors I tried to look for, I think it's cool, man, because us growing up together, man, trying to find our way and trying to learn how to be men. By participating in different type of things, like you said, man. We out boxing, we join boxing clubs, boxing gyms, kickboxing, wrestling, and we're trying to find that outlet. And trying to figure out what it is that we want to do. Taking auto mechanics class, trying to do the things we saw our uncles doing, and the parents of maybe some friends doing. Because when I grew up around my uncles fixing on cars. That's what they did. They got together and they fixing on cars. I was the tool handler. I was hand me the.
Do you see this generation or either other generations in between us? Did you see that happening? Where you had the other generation showing the other generation stuff? Do you see a lack of that?
I see a lack of it.
See?
I see a lack of it, man.
Because everyone's online.
So right, but I'm not going to negate the fact that could be a diversion, because even with my son who has a car now, I make sure that whenever we're doing something on it, I make sure he's doing the work. So I guess,
but you're present for that to happen.
Right. And yeah, but see, my thing is this. Like, for example, you got kids, right?
Yeah.
How many kids you got?
Well, I got enough of them.
You got enough of them? And you're present.
Yeah.
So as men, I mean, I don't care what the situation is or what the circumstances. There's always the opportunity to be present.
Yeah.
So
But you're right.
Even I've kind of looked at, I've kind of watched and followed you, man. I've seen you, mentoring and doing stuff. I'm not sure if it's with your foundation, but I admired that you were out there.
But even before the foundation, I was doing that.
Right.
Because it was
absolutely,
in me.
absolutely.
It was in me.
And see. So I guess what I'm asking, man, is what's your thoughts, man, on because see, you can't save the world, man.
Yeah, you can.
You see what I'm saying?
No
you
one
can only
individual
help
can save the world.
Those people closest to you, man, and in your vicinity.
Okay.
So let me ask this question. What inspired you to really get into your foundation and everything? What was it you saw in your community where you said, you know what, this area needs the help of Houston Alexander. This area needs my vision or my thoughts or my mentorship.
Okay, I think you would have to go back to being a teenager, and me seeing a Joe Edmondson.
Okay.
Because there was a Joe Edmondson, who had the wrestling club that everyone went to. You have a Carl Washington.
Right.
Who had the boxing club. You had all these different entities in our community already that was already going on.
Right.
And I just kind of watched. You had a lot of mentors who were at the Boys and Girls Club at the time. Mr. Mackey. Anybody
Yes.
that knows
Yes.
the community knows Mr. Mackey down at the Boys and Girls Club. And even at the Y, where we had the flag football teams, there was always something going on that I watched over the years. But as we gotten older, the lack of all that has just dissipated.
Right.
You don't see a lot of clubs in our community anymore. You don't see a lot of organizations organizing things for kids, anymore. It just seemed like it just dwelled over the years. So, I think the one thing I wanted to do was just show the kids that there's something different out there than the negative.
Right.
And when I say that by showing examples.
Right.
Of seeing kids shaking their hands, saying hello to them face to face, looking them in their eyes, like I know how we were taught and how we were brought up to be.
Right.
You get a lot of kids nowadays, because of social media, who don't know how to interact like how we're interacting right now.
Right.
So I saw a lack of that growing up as well. So I think being an everyday person, being a grown man, being a grown man with morals and values. And showing these kids whether they're 5 years old, 18 years old, or you're 21 years old, if we're showing some type of presence to these kids when they see us, you don't have to have an organization per se to do so, but it helps. But me living my life every day, respecting these kids and respecting grown adults. Right. I think that's how you make a change. Throughout your community. But
So,
just having a conversation with people.
Because I'm gonna tell you, man. And I was the same. I'm the same way. As I got older, I always look back at Carl, man, and everything and what he did. Because matter of fact, that's how I got my first photography studio. He was like, "Hey, man, I got a space because he always had access."
Exactly.
To things in the community. So him as a mentor, because like I said, growing up, man, we were always trying to find our way, man. And it was people like Carl and everything. And I think that's cool that, man, you were able to become who you are, man, and able to reach out in the exact same way.
And it wasn't that I didn't have a mentor, because you saw Carl and Joe and all these other, Bear, all these guys in our community doing the things. But I was already I just had this self-preservation to go out and get it. Something just told me to go out and get it,
but
man.
Bro, even at the same time, though, man, it's like, if let's say, for example, you were saying, okay, I wanted to be a graffiti artist, or I wanted to be a boxer, man, it's always great to have that mentor that has done it to give you guidance.
But I didn't have anybody to go out and show me how to do graffiti art, because I had to go do it.
Because otherwise, you got to get your ass kicked on the way up. You know what I'm saying? When you could have had somebody mentoring you, saying, hey, look, don't do it this way, do it this way. Don't do it that way, do it this way.
Yeah.
Or, like I said, you said Joe Navarro.
But Joe showed me how to do. Yeah.
So now if you would have tried that on your own, we would have been like, who the hell?
I would have been troubleshooting.
Messed this damn building up.
I just knew
you would have got it right.
I knew what I wanted to do, but he just happened to be a good friend of mine who just showed me how to do it. The kids need to be shown something better. The kids need to be, how would I put it? They need to be shown that you can go out there and get it on your own. And there's too much information out there right now for you not to get it on your own. Especially with the internet nowadays.
Yeah.
And for you to sit at home and not have no type of gumption to get out there. Not in today's day and age. Something wrong, man.
You're right.
Something wrong. You can't. Not in this day and age with all the information. If you're just sitting at home, sitting there playing PlayStation, waiting on a PlayStation 5.
Right. I agree with you, man.
We need you. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that, because they got tournaments.
Right.
Where they're winning millions of dollars playing video games.
You're right, man.
Again, if you're not the video guy, you need to make sure you get out there and do for self. I think that's basically what I'm saying.
Right.
Do for self.
Okay. So we got the foundation, man. But look, let me say, so the fighter.
Okay.
The fighter. When and where did that birth?
Oh man, that's East St. Louis.
East St. Louis.
That's East St. Louis, Illinois. I was on the playground, and I had a candy bar, and I'm still looking for y'all who tried to take my candy bar back when I was 8 years old. I'm still looking for you. Anyway, these dudes trying to take my candy bar, man, and I just remember that I was just that kid, because I'm a Wilson. I'm a Wilson. I'm a Alexander. So I'm a Newsom. I'm all those people in my family mixed together, and we were fighters day one. But these kids try to take what I had, and I wouldn't allow it, man. I had 5 kids trying to jump me, and I still had my candy bar. Nobody took my candy bar. So, but it started on the playground in East St. Louis.
That's funny, man.
At Canada Elementary.
Canada Elementary.
I still remember.
You know what is funny, man? When I remember talking about MMA, I remember when it first hit the scene and everything, and people were talking about it. And I remember telling people, like today, I said, MMA started when we were kids. And it started when you would have at the end of that fight scheduled at 3 o'clock at the end of school.
Oh, okay.
And you got that circle of people. I said that for us was MMA.
That's funny.
And I said, and the funny thing about it though, I was like, the difference between it then and now was the person you end up fighting ended up being your best friend.
Yeah,
down the
that's
line.
funny. Yeah, you're right.
Because my best friend, man, we got in a fight in the lunch line.
Okay.
And we became like that.
Yeah, and now I agree with that. I'm putting names out there. Kevin Glass. Ray Jefferson. I'm gonna tell you about Ray Jefferson and Kevin Glass. This is a real quick story. Ray is a good friend of mine.
I know Ray.
Ray, yeah. So we're at the Boys and Girls Club. Okay. Ray, he bumps into me at the Boys and Girls Club, and back then, we didn't really go into the fight. You just kind of stared each other down, and you looked at each other, and you went around in circles. We went around in circles for like 5 minutes.
Gotta do the circle.
He bumped me. We went around in a circle for about 5 minutes, and you know, I must have scared him because my afro must have scared him. But yeah, we broke up. We broke up at that time. So I'm still mad at Ray and his brother for that. I was with my brother. And funny story with Kevin Glass. I'm calling you out. Kevin, for some reason, we was playing, and he thought I said, you know, because you can't say this back then. You couldn't say this. Your mama.
Boy.
Oh.
That was it. You didn't even have to say that about her. All you had to do was say that.
You can't say your mama. But hold up. I didn't say your mama. See, that's why I'm mad at Kevin. Somebody said that I said his mama. And guess who Kevin was looking for. Now Kevin, 6'3", 200-something pounds. And back then I'm maybe 120 pounds, 50 pounds soaking wet. But Kevin finally called up to me in front of my house, okay, and we started squabbling. But say, hey, with me, I'm not letting this big dude get the best of me. So we're fighting in front of my house, okay. Next thing you know, my mom came outside. She yelled out, "Hey, you gotta come in and eat." I stopped fighting with Kevin and said, "Hey man, I gotta stop fighting. I gotta go up and eat." There you go, Kevin. I told the story, man. I told the story. So, hey, but after that, me and Kevin was friends. Me and Ray Jefferson were friends. Yeah, so we had, so it was all, that's us back in the day.
I love that though, man, because, you know.
My mama stopped the fight and said, come on. I didn't say your mama, Kevin. I didn't say your mama.
But you know, man, the cool thing about that is thinking back about that environment, man. I remember even the cops breaking the fight up and drive you home and tell what they caught you doing.
Mm-hmm. But again, times have changed, but people stay the same, but I think it's just technology. Technology got people all gassed up right now. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
so
right.
You can go on YouTube and get pumped up and watching Mike Tyson highlights and thinking you the shit, but you come on, man. So
now let me ask you, what high school did you go to?
I went to North High.
North High. Did you wrestle?
Tell everybody to be up. I wrestled for a little bit. My uncle Curly Alexander. No, he was too tough, man. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I went out for wrestling. I probably lasted maybe a week, and after that, that's even if I had lasted a week. But but Curly was tough. He had one of the hardest regimens around.
So your wrestling background was a week, and you retired after a week of wrestling.
But hey, man, I wrestled on the street though. I'm a state champion on the street.
Boxing.
Yes, sir. Boxing. Boxing. I always had these hands because even before, we used to go to CW.
Right.
But even before that, I just had hands. I had hands even back as a kid. So, but if I had to be technical, CW Boxing Club.
Now let me ask you this, man, because like I said, we were all curious about you, man.
Okay.
You look like you could throw hands. We all heard about you. We heard the stories and everything. But we never really got a chance to see you in the ring, man. Did you have some amateur time where you actually got in, did some amateur work?
What are you talking about with MMA or with boxing?
With boxing.
Oh no, about boxing, no. Boxing. I never got into the ring with boxing.
Okay.
And that's something I probably regret.
Right.
I wish I could have.
Now what I do remember was
with the money they're making nowadays.
I remember Tough Man. Tough Man. Tell us about that, man.
I say now the Tough Man thing. I never was involved with the Tough Man thing. As I say now, if anyone who's from Omaha remembers my man Ghost.
I remember Ghost.
Ghost and last name Jones. Shouts out to Ghost. Ghost was one of the first ones I know that was doing that did the Tough Man contest.
Maybe I misheard on that one.
No. I didn't get into the Tough Man contest. I started doing the amateur MMA fights in the bars.
Okay.
That's how I started.
So give us some background on that.
Okay,
how did that go?
Chad Mason presents. There was Annie Houston. Went to one of the events at Club Amnesia in town in Omaha here, and she knew that I kind of wrestled and boxed around a little bit, and she was one of my students where I used to teach breakdancing classes, and she asked me to go to this event where they had MMA fights where people were signing up, and of course she dared me to get in the ring, and I signed up. And the name of the production was Chad Mason Presents, and signed up for it and ended up getting into my first MMA fight.
That's cool. That's
Matter of
dope,
fact,
man.
I just got off work. I used to
just
work.
got off work?
I used to work asphalt.
So
I did asphalt. I did construction. Okay.
So now was you there as a spectator, man?
Nah, I went.
What was
You
you
know,
there
at
for?
first I went to
Initially.
go. I went there to go check it out, but initially, she dared me to get in the ring, and I got in the ring.
That's cool.
But no problem because I had that in me already.
Yeah.
I've been fighting all my life.
So we did the bar fight.
Mm-hmm.
So what transpired between the bar fighting and UFC?
Okay.
What led up to that? What got you into the UFC?
Okay, yeah, because let's get that straight. A lot of people, I hate when people say, do you do UFC?
Nah.
You don't do UFC. UFC is the organization. Okay, you do MMA. We're MMA fighters.
MMA, okay.
Yeah, so
Gotcha.
we got to get that straight because a lot of people they don't differentiate that. But Chad Mason was one of the first guys that started showing me the abilities. Chad was great at jiu-jitsu. He showed me how to combine a lot of boxing. And Chad, and he was the organizer of the show, obviously. So he took interest in me because I went in there and started beating people's asses immediately.
Right.
So just based off the skills that I had, but for him to bring me in and actually show me different techniques, all that ended up coming from Chad Mason. So, and then as the years go on, man, I was on the road doing these shows. I would go to one show. I would fight 5 times in one night. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Yeah, I would fight 5 times in one night. I would fight 3 times in one night. But that was back then though.
Man,
that was back then. So yeah, man, a lot of Midwestern shows that we did.
Right. That's a lot of work, man.
That's a lot of work, man. A lot of work.
That's a lot. So now, in between fighting, what were you doing? Like in between?
Well,
like
in
when,
between,
when Houston wasn't fighting.
Man, see, when I wasn't fighting though, I had a breakdance crew called the Alliance All Star B-Boys. We were opening up for rappers, in the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000. We were the Alliance All Star B-Boys and B-Girls. We were opening up for Juvenile, Foxy Brown, Vanilla Ice, all these different groups.
Really?
We were in between all this stuff. I was doing that. We were opening up for rap acts. We was
That's
on
cool.
tour with Snoop Dogg. We did shows with Tone Loc. We Naughty by Nature. Man, we've done a lot of shows. Opened up B-boys and B-girls for shows.
That's what's up, man.
In between all the fighting.
And see, dude, being away and everything, and to come back and hear
Yeah, man.
the work that you done, man, it's amazing, man. I'm loving it.
That's not even including the radio station.
Right.
When we got involved with the radio station, that was Busy Bee and Michael Dunham who got Hot 107.7 started here in town, and at the time they knew I did promotion, and so they asked me to come in and do promotion. So it was Busy Bee and Michael Dunham who started Hot 107.7, which was our version of KBWH. And if you are from Omaha, you remember KBWH being the R&B, hip hop and R&B station at the time.
Right.
Hot 107.7 was our hip hop and R&B station for our generation.
Right.
So it was great to be involved with that because we did a lot of historical things when we was Hot 107.7.
That's what's up, man.
So man, we were doing
That's
that.
What's up.
And on top of that, we were
Bro,
doing. I was painting. I was doing.
You was busy.
I was doing graffiti art pieces, all over the country. So
Right.
I was just doing a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah, you was
And
busy.
a lot of
man.
people don't know that I was doing all this stuff.
You was busy. You right. Because I sure wouldn't have guessed that you was doing all that.
But that was just me being self-aware of what I wanted to do.
Right.
That's it.
Right. So let's change it up a little bit, man.
Okay. Yeah, man.
So what are your thoughts, man? Like with the climate, man. Like we're going into a presidential transition,
Okay.
and everything. What's the climate been like? Here in Omaha, man. Like I said, I grew up here, man.
Yeah.
I think I left here when I was 20.
Okay. And what year did you leave?
I
What year
believe
did
it was
you leave?
92. It was 92 when I left.
Okay, 92.
I left when I moved.
The climate in 92, when you left Omaha, it was. I think the the gangs started transitioning.
Right.
Yeah, so the drugs started coming into the city when you left in '92.
Right.
But let's fast forward to present day. How is it? What is the climate in 2020? And are you saying community-wise or state-wise?
Community-wise.
Community-wise.
Because man, let me tell you, when I talk, like when people hear that I'm from Omaha, right? They're like, Omaha.
Are there black people? Are there black people in Omaha?
That's always the question. But I'm gonna tell you the thing I love about Omaha, man, and I commend Omaha for this.
What's that?
Is that the ability for multicultural people to come together, and regardless of cultural background.
Yeah.
Because I tell people, I say, you can go up there and you see families together that don't look like they family. You be looking because the colors and
there is a mixture.
The mix.
Omaha doesn't have a definite mixture of culture,
right?
And people don't understand that,
right? And the relationships that people get in, you be wondering like, wait a minute, who is this? They with you? It's like, and they be spouses and in-laws and everything. And when I look back and I come back and I see that, I love it, and it's amazing to me, man.
Yeah, man. So I think that with the climate in Omaha, I think, man, I don't think it's changed as much. I think everyone's still friendly towards each other.
Right.
And if there's any type of the discrepancies with people or any type of racism, I really haven't seen it.
Right.
Up close and personal.
Yeah.
But I think the climate here has been pretty even keeled.
Good.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As far as dealing with people on a daily basis, I think people are still wanting to do the right things in our community. I think people are still trying to make sure that our kids are good. But I just think that Omaha is still kind of on an even kill. We're on an even kill still.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We can improve. A whole lot. I believe in the city culturally.
Right.
Because I think culturally we need to make sure that we are doing things to take cultural steps.
Right.
For our young people to stay in, because we have a lot of people who would graduate high school or graduate college and they will leave. So I think that's something we can improve on. But I think that Omaha has been pretty even keel over the years still.
Yeah. I agree with you on that, man, because that was one of the reasons I left, man.
And you left because why did you leave?
I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. Because, see, growing up, man, this is the interesting thing, man. Me growing up as a teenager, because Omaha is kind of like this melting pot, racism wasn't even on my mind. I never even thought about it, man.
I don't think
of course
racism is not on anyone's mind.
It was never on my mind. It wasn't until I got out of high school and I was trying to get out and become the entrepreneur I wanted to be, and I had to get out and network with people, and I would network with people who didn't want to network with me. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
And I ran into that. I started to see that dynamic even more when I started to, as an adult, dealing with people who were older than myself and who have maybe been in the game longer than I have, who weren't of our cultural background, who didn't want to network with me. That was when I started to run into that. But even at the time, when I left, because I was chasing the money. Like I said, I talk about that multiple streams of income. I chased money. Wherever there was a check, I went there to make that money. That's what I did. And Kansas City was that hub for me, man. I was back and forth chasing money.
Well, see, I think a lot of people leave Omaha because I don't think they don't see the big picture within themselves. And when I say that, let me make sure I collect my thought on that, because you don't necessarily have to leave if you think that leaving your hometown will make you a better person, then by all means do so. That's probably what you did.
I didn't think it would make me a better person, but I went where the money was at the time.
Yeah, but that goes for anyone.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, you left because of the money, but some people just leave because they're bored. See, there's a difference.
Right.
Leaving the city because of money, or that's one thing. but leaving the city because you're bored and you can't go to the club because there's not a club here for you. That's another. So I think it is, no matter where you live, it is what you make of it.
Right.
It is what you make of it, man. And if you can't find it, you force it.
Right.
You force it. You know, there's something out there for somebody.
I like that.
No, if you can't find it, you force it. And you, if you want to go to another city, go to another city, but then come back. You'll end up coming back home anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're gonna end up coming back home anyway. Because on that, you might
like
get
that,
bored, but you're gonna end up coming back home anyway. Because there's no place like home anyway.
Right. And you know, I love coming back, man. I really do. And the thing I love about it is because, and we had this conversation before.
Yeah.
I feel like because I grew up here, like it's like we moved from, I was born here, then we moved to Detroit, Michigan, and we came back when I was like 5. So then I was here after that. So when I look at the people that I grew up with, like I talk to people today that from kindergarten.
Yeah.
You know, and it's nothing better to be able to make a phone call to somebody that you knew since kindergarten and have conversations. Like you and I being able to have a conversation about us growing up together. To me, that's awesome when you can come and have conversation and be around people that you share some history with, man. Because I believe that we raised each other. A lot of us, we raised each other, man. We learned, like we fought each other. We learned how to become men because of each other. We learned the women that we know. We learned how to date and to talk to women based on the responses that we got from the girls that we grew up with.
Well,
so we practiced.
But
you see what I'm saying?
That's another different subject, though.
But dude, nobody really sat you down and said, "Look,
no one really.
This is how
you're right. You're right.
You had to learn through trial and error.
Men had to. I agree. Men have to learn to love.
Right.
Men had to have to learn to court. And is there a lot of courting like that going on nowadays?
Why is that?
Where is it? I don't know.
Man, you know what? It is.
I think it is.
I think it is.
People don't change. It's technology that changes the situation, man.
But man,
people don't change. It's technology that changes the situation.
Technology is the introduction.
Yes.
But then the courting comes after that, right?
Well, if you have been around people who haven't taught you how to be with a woman or how to be with a man, then that, and you're saying that we had to learn on our own. Yeah. And a lot of the times you're right, but there's too much information out there now, out there on the internet to help you. If you don't get it at home, you can get it. You can at least look at it on the internet.
Ain't gonna teach you a whole lot.
It's not gonna teach you. It's not gonna teach you a whole lot.
A woman gonna teach you how to treat her.
Yes,
that's gonna happen.
So that's why you got a lot. That's why you got a lot of people really wigging out about the internet and what people are doing on the internet, especially women. See, if you see women acting a certain way on the internet as a child, I think that's how you're gonna approach women. If you see that this is what you see on the internet, or vice versa with a man. So I think it is important to have that person at home to teach a man or a woman how to be a man or a woman, or how to date men or women.
Right.
So I agree with that.
I don't even know how we got on this subject, man.
Yeah, well, we just jumped.
I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, how the hell we get on this subject?
Man, we just jumping. But I think that is real important that we know how to interact with men and women. And I think the one thing between a man and a woman that you need to know that you need to respect each other.
Right.
Let's start there. Let's start with respecting each other, and then you go from there.
Dude, and that's, you know what? I'm glad you said that, because that's especially when you talk about the emotions of a man. That's all a man really asks for, man. That you respect.
Exactly. But see, a woman is asking for the same thing.
Yeah.
A woman is asking for respect, just like a man is asking for respect.
So what does that look like?
Respect each other, and guess what? We start from there.
What does that look like?
And respect and communication. As long as you're communicating and respecting each other, that's it.
So what does that look like, man? Where do we want that to look like, though?
What do you mean?
Because people say, well, as long as you respect me.
Okay.
Respecting
you could be to have a conversation with you. You know what I'm saying? And I think anyone, man or woman, wants to have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? Wants to have an upfront conversation about who they are as a person. So I think communication would be key to all that.
Right. So let me ask you this, because I don't think we talked about the podcast.
Okay.
Because I think with what we're doing now, having this conversation, you having a podcast, us having a podcast, and me doing radio back home, we have a voice, right? And I think having a voice such as you do,
and you,
I think we have to be very cautious sometimes on what we say and what we put out there on the airways, because what we do is we have the power to influence.
No, you're right.
And with that power to influence,
sometimes I don't know when to shut up though.
we're able to be, we're blessed with the ability and the platform to give other people voices.
Yeah.
On your podcast, I mean, do you have these type of conversations? Because what I found is these are very important conversations, because the one thing that we don't hear from, man, is men. We don't hear that a lot. Like, sometimes women want to hear our perspective, because we hear women all the time. Women are out doing things. You hear them talking all the time. You cannot turn on the television or something and you hear some woman talking about what it is they're trying to do, or some change that's trying to take place.
What is your
My question is, with your podcast, what type of audience do you have? Do you have like an audience where we have these type of conversations that people want to hear on how to improve, or how people think, and how, for example, how men think in this particular area or in this particular situation? Because people want to hear that. Like, sometimes, like, I may have an issue, or you may have an issue, that you're confused about with women. So the only person that's going to be able to teach you that is a woman. So you want to hear that on your platform. On your platform, do you have these type of conversations where people can tune in and hear Houston talk about this?
No, so, I think with the platform that I've had over the past couple of years, I've talked to individuals about the different things that they do in the community. Okay, you might be a musician, but it boils down to you being a musician, telling people how you deal with people. Right. You might be an artist, telling people how you deal with people. See, you might be a teacher, telling people how you deal with people. Right. So the bottom line would be, how do we talk to each other? Right. Right. So and with we call, because I do it with Michael Dunham, the present podcast that we do. We do it's a cultural politician. We deal with politicians. We deal with athletes, and if subject matters like that come up, from them talking to us on the podcast, having conversations with us, then we'll talk about that. But we're not specific like you guys' show. Your show is specific about wanting to talk about entrepreneurship and wanting to talk about relationships, because that's the premise of your show, right? That's part of the premise. But the premise of our show is talking to individuals from all walks of life, and if they want to share that experience with us, that's fine. We'll get that out of there, because when we're talking to people, it's because they can relate to us and we can relate to them. Right. So if we get that, we just happen to get that out of them, that's fine. Right. But it's not specific like you guys' show, but it could go there. So what inspired the podcast? Please, having access to all these people that we know, and wanting to bring in people to tell the stories, tell the stories, and give us some history about what they're doing in the community, or what they're doing athletically, or what they're doing musically, and sharing those stories, how to be successful, and how to show people how to be successful. Right. So in the same breath, we're kind of doing what you guys are doing, and I think having a podcast or having any type of platform like what you guys are doing, you got to make sure you educate the people. And that's cool. And I think that's what we're trying to do as well. We're trying to educate the people through what we're doing as well. Okay. So how do you choose your guests? Now, if, like, let's say, for example, because I've seen the podcast, man, I would love to get on there. Okay. But how do you choose the folks, your audience? How do you choose your audience? Not your audience, but your guests being on the show. When we decided to do our podcast, we wanted to bring in people from our city, people from our state, but we also wanted to bring in other people from all walks of life. Like one podcast we had Shabba-Doo from Breaking, from the movie Breaking, and he, he told us a story on how he became who he was. But there was a lot of moments in that conversation that had me thinking, going back to the 12, 13-year-old me. I got kind of emotional listening to this man's words of wisdom. During that podcast. But again, we choose guests that we think that are interesting to our audience. And we want to educate, and we're always trying to educate our audience in some type of way. So if one day we might have Bud coming on, he's going to we're going to talk to you about his beginning and how he got to be successful.
Right.
I think that's everybody wants to formula how to be successful, and all the people that we bring on are specific, and all the people that we bring on have goals that we want to set for our audience.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up.
Yeah.
And how long has the podcast been?
The podcast could be 6 hours long if they wanted to.
How long has it been on air? How long you been?
No, we're in our third episode, and we've had probably over 12,000, 20,000 viewers already. So we're just starting off, but the next podcast we're doing, I think it'll be because it's usually Mondays at 7:00 Central. We're doing JL Felony.
That's what's up, man.
And the beginning of the year, we're gonna have the Iceman, Chuck Liddell.
Okay.
We're gonna start the year off by guys like that.
Okay, that's what's up, man.
Yeah, man. We got a lot of great people coming up that's gonna tell their stories, and we're gonna share. They're gonna share their success stories.
Okay, that's cool, man. So how can people tune into your podcast? How can they?
It's on all social media platforms. I know a lot of people say that all the time, but we use Facebook Live, but we got a great production guy who Tomas. Shouts out to Tomas. He does all these great things for us and puts it on all our platforms. So without him, the show wouldn't probably look as good as it does. But yeah, man. So
what do we type in? What do we go
The Elements Live.
The Elements Live.
The Elements Live.
Elements Live.
So let me reverse this. I heard you was acting. So and you do radio.
And that's what drew me out of Omaha.
And television.
Right.
Okay. So how did you become the person that sitting down here with me? See, so it's easy for you to ask me questions,
right?
But how did you get to where you was? Looking all
do you really want to know?
Yeah, no, but what put you in the situation?
I'm gonna tell this story.
Yeah, what put you in a situation where you became successful and where you decided to do the things you do?
I'm gonna tell you. I was bullied in elementary school.
You was bullied?
I was bullied.
Okay.
I was the kid. I'm gonna tell you. I went to Indian Hills High School or Indian Hills Elementary School.
Yes, I do.
And
I remember Indian
I used to get chased home almost every day.
And this is
I'm gonna tell you how the kid. I was a little skinny kid and everything. But I would talk trash the whole day. I would talk trash, man, and I would be.
Hold on, did you deserve to get chased?
Bro, look,
come on, man.
I was the cat. They would take. Look,
you said you were talking.
No. Man, they would take. Like my mama would always give me some food stamps, right?
Okay.
They came out the little coupon. The little coupon book that you had to tear out. She said, on your way home, I need you to stop by Fast Foods.
Okay.
That was right there by South Terrace Project. That's that store right there.
Okay.
And I knew what I had to get.
Yes, sir.
And I remember, man, they took my food stamps one day. Man, I would have money.
You still didn't answer my question. Did you start it?
I didn't start it, man.
Okay, but
I wasn't a fighter.
Okay, but
I was not a fighter. I was scared to fight.
Did you talk your way out of it?
I would talk trash.
Why?
Dude, they were messing with me.
Okay.
They would mess with me.
I don't want to make sure.
But they couldn't catch me, man. But I'm gonna tell you what the stick that broke the camel's back, man, was I remember they chased me all the way home.
And this on the
up
south.
to the yard.
This is the south.
I stayed in the South Terrace Projects.
Okay.
And I remember I ran in the house screaming. I was right before I got to the house, I was screaming my mama. And I ran in the house. And she was on the phone. And she was like, boy, get your ass back out there. And she pushed me out the door, man.
Okay.
But the cats was gone, right? And I knew I had to learn how to fight. And I remember I got mugged. I got mugged by a guy. He said, hey man, you got $1? And I was like, and I'm carrying some groceries because back then I was about 9 years old.
Okay.
This is when your mama could send you to the store to buy cigarettes.
Okay.
And everything. You can send you with that label and everything.
Right, with the food stamps.
And guy said, you got $1? I was like, no. He said, man, yes you do, man. You just came out the store. And I was like, dude, I ain't got no $1. And he started patting my pockets, and I'm trying to block his hands, and he knocked the groceries out, tore the bag up and everything.
Oh man, come on, man.
Took the food stamps and my change and everything, and I'm trying to carry this stuff home. And
what your mama say, man?
Bro,
what your mama say?
My mama on the phone. She was like, "What'd you do?" And I was like, "I didn't do nothing." You should have picked something up and bust him in the head. Take your ass to your room. You know what I'm saying?
She got mad. She got mad at you because you didn't put it. You
for
didn't
days.
Try.
I was so upset, man, and I knew I had to learn how to fight, man. And I started going to the library and everything, man, trying to look up these books, watching movies and everything, man.
Okay, but see, you went to the books back in the day, but what can the kids do now?
They go to
social media. They go to social media. So there's no excuse. That meant again, there's no excuse.
But
for
that
kids
was
nowadays.
That was my birth right there, man. Was that?
Okay.
Right there.
That's where it started. See?
So and then I met Carl. Then it went on from there. And then
Carl Washington was the boxing coach you met her with.
Right.
Okay.
Right. But how I got into the acting later on, man, it was all because of girls, man. I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
In high school, everybody used to be like, man, you know how we were in high school, man. We went to school clean, man.
Yeah.
We trying to, flat top and everything, all cut nice. Everybody used to tell me, they said, hey man, you know what? You ever think about modeling? I was like, no, I ain't doing that. I thought that was for girls, back then,
Yeah.
And they had me doing all these church fashion shows and all this stuff. But then I thought about, I said, man, you know how many girls I could meet if I became a model?
Yeah,
that was the thing.
All the girls motivate everything.
I ended up going to school for it, right?
Wow.
It wasn't until I saw how much money you could make doing it if you were successful at it. Mm-hmm. Once I saw the money, then I took it serious. And then I started doing stuff for Richmond Gordman, Half Price Store, because their corporate office was here in Omaha.
You want
so
back
I started doing them ads and everything. And I started smelling myself, bro, and it was like I started meeting cats.
Where the radio come in?
It came later on.
Yeah.
See, and people used to wonder, they said, man, how you gonna be a model and box? You know what I'm saying? And I used to think about it, I was like, man, how can I do that? But I'm gonna make it work. But see, it wasn't then I started meeting people that say, hey man, you gotta do it down in Kansas City, man, that's where the money's at. And I was like, oh really? And they had Macy's, David's Bridal, Saks Fifth Avenue. I started doing stuff for like Joseph Abboud. As a matter of fact, Tommy Hilfiger was doing 2 shows a year, and he was booking me for those shows. So I was driving back and forth a lot.
Wow. I didn't know that. I didn't know you were doing that.
Yeah. I was doing a lot of that, man. And then I made the transition into acting. I didn't want to do that until I saw how much money you can make doing commercials. When you make a $500 check for one day, but then you get $500 for every time that commercial come on, that inspires you. So I was like, well, man, I need to look into this acting thing. And then I started taking classes and doing stage plays, community theater, and things like that. And that's how
was this a self-aware thing though? See, or did you have mentors? See, it sounded like this was something that was in you.
I didn't have no mentors because I didn't know.
There's something in you.
I went to school for it, but dude, man, I wasn't trying to be no model, man.
Okay, but see,
dude, I thought I was gonna be in the ring somewhere. That's what everybody thought.
I understand that, but you still was self-motivated. That's it. I wouldn't
self-driven, man.
I wasn't politician on you. He was.
Yeah, it was self-driven.
Yeah, self-driven, man. And it has to be in you.
But I was like, if somebody gonna pay me to dress nice and look nice, I was like, that was cool because I did that anyway.
So then, where did radio come in?
See, radio came in. I was because they all kind of
coincide.
They all kind of coincide. But to make money in this type of industry here in the Midwest, you got to do it all. You got to do print work. You got to do television. You got to do radio. You got to do shows.
So why do you think I do all the things I do?
Yeah, because see, you like when you're not in that market, you got to do it all.
You got to do it all.
Here, you got to do it all. Especially if you want to try to make a living at it. Because I did it full time for a while. I just quit my job. I said, man, if I want to make this work, and I ended up quitting my job, and I did it full time.
So now you're here.
So yep, I'm here. I'm doing this, man. Like I said, this is something I enjoy doing.
But this is another thing that you're adding to the repertoire.
Yeah, this is something else I'm adding.
Yeah.
But the speaking thing, man, is something that was new, that was introduced to me when I started going to some seminars, man, and I got involved with an organization called the Black CEO, and I started meeting people that do a lot of speaking. And once again, I looked at what type of money they was making. I was like, well, you get paid $5,000 just to speak for 45 minutes, $10,000 to speak for 45 minutes to an hour. I said, maybe I need to look into this speaking thing. I said, I like to talk. I could talk about stuff. I love to run my mouth. You know what I'm saying? So, but with the radio, I ended up, there was an audition that took place, to work on a radio station, and it was voluntary.
Okay.
To start out, but what they did was they teach you the whole industry and how to how radio actually functions, how to use the soundboards and all that stuff. So that was the pay out of that. So I looked at it, I said, okay, I'm not gonna get paid. So you always want to look at what you get out of it.
But the skill set.
But the thing, you learn the skill set, because I didn't know nothing about radio, working soundboards and editing, and things like that. But you learn that process.
But see, the reason why I asked you all this is because you go 360 degrees with this interview. You were self-aware of things you wanted to do. I was self-aware of things I wanted to do. And so do we have to instill this into these kids nowadays, that they need to be self-aware of what they need to do?
But Houston,
and go for it?
But Houston, the interesting thing, what happened to where, because see, nobody taught it to us or taught it.
Taught us.
Just happened.
We just knew what we had to do.
Right. So where did we lose? Where did we drop the ball, man? What has happened since the 1990s, man?
Okay. Well, you go back to the first initial question you asked me. Is that did television? Did I learn anything from television, or did television teach me or raise me? Television has probably raised a few generations of kids after us.
Right.
So you had a lot of people who have sat down with their child and probably didn't spend that quality time with the kids, because we have nowadays we have kids raising kids, and it has been that way for years, but I think more so than ever we do have the kids raising kids. So we do have generations that have sat and learned from the television.
Right.
So I think that one-on-one interaction has gotten less over the years.
Right.
So I think we had the mother and the father still in the household, but I think more so it's more of a struggle nowadays, because they got so many distractions. You might still have the mother and the father in the household and still be distracted by the internet. Still be distracted by kids outside of that. But I think the kids nowadays have so many options to do either the right thing or the bad thing. So I think they have so many options to do whatever nowadays.
Right. I agree, man.
Our only option was to go straight ahead. Now they can go left, right, up, down, with all the things that are going on right now with in society.
Right. And I think, man, as long as we keep doing what we doing, man, like I said, you keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to keep doing what I'm doing, man.
Leading by example.
Leading by example.
Leading by
Absolutely.
example.
Leading by example. And I mean, I would love to see more of us doing that, leading by example.
Leading by example.
I mean, like I said, man, it no matter what the circumstances.
But who's to say that there's not? Maybe we just don't see them.
You're absolutely right.
Who's to say that
you're absolutely right.
So we can't say that there's not, but maybe it's those people that are behind the scenes that we don't see. But you know what? Leading by example is us going into the store, shaking the young man's hand, or saying to a young lady, how are you? People don't. It's those small things. Leading by example can lead to.
Right.
Seriously.
And us being able to have dialogue, man, because like I said, when we see each other, it don't have to always be a frown when I see you, okay, well, you know what I'm saying?
You don't have to, ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to mean mug people when you're talking to them.
Right, man. And like I said, that's not to knock people that are out there doing things, man. I just wish that sometimes we can come together and collaborate and work in networks. Like I said, because you're doing what you're doing, man. I don't have to try to outdo you in what you're doing.
Do people are they weirded out because you say hello to them?
But some people are, man, because they're not used to that.
You walk into the store, you know what I'm saying? You say hello to someone.
I'm gonna tell you, some cats, man, when you speak to them, they look at you like,
why are you saying hello to me?
Right. And
why are you saying how you doing to me?
Right. That's interesting, man.
That's funny.
And it is, man. I wish we could change that dynamic.
That's funny, man.
But okay, let me ask you this, man. So how can we follow you, man? How can we follow Houston Alexander with your organization, man, with your podcast and everything? How can we reach out or tune in or log in and follow what you're doing?
Well, you can go to the website, the Houston Alexander Foundation. And of course you can read all the things that we're doing in the community and for the kids. You can go to that site. All my social medias are under Houston Alexander. I got a podcast where, of course, I do the individual podcast where I go to sites like this,
right?
Because we're at Bud Crawford's gym right now, B&B, but I kind of travel all over and do my podcast that way. But with the new podcast that I'm doing with The Elements Live is with Michael Dunham, aka DJ Rip, and we're doing talking to local celebrities and celebrities outside of that,
right? And
to get their information to how they got successful. So again, any of the platforms you can go to and you just log in Houston Alexander, and it usually take you there.
Right. That's cool. That's what's up. That's what's up. And man, once again, man, I appreciate being out here at B&B.
Yeah, man.
Boxing gym, man. I'd love to get even Bud Crawford on here, man.
You went to Kansas City after being at CW Boxing Club. You come back from Kansas City, come into a boxing club, B&B Boxing Club, Bud Crawford's boxing club. How funny is that?
That is
360 degrees.
360 degrees, man.
So I know and it's to all the people that are watching right now. I know we were kind of all over the place. But by the time you guys get to editing this, it will probably sound more comprehensive. But a lot of the things that if you read in between the lines, a lot of the things we're basically telling people to do is follow your dreams. If you got goals, you don't necessarily need a mentor, but it's always great to have a mentor. But you have to follow what's in your heart. Right. If you got something that you want to do and that you think you're meant to do instead of sitting at home, then you do it.
Right.
I used to think that Nike had the stupidest slogan when they came out with just do it. I was like, hold on, what? Just do it? I'm like that's dumb. But then, as I started teaching people how to train, I started teaching people how to do certain things, or how to paint, or how to dance. I would just have to tell a person, just do it. And then I'm like, okay, Nike. That was one of the best things that came out of that Nike era is that slogan, just do it. So for people that are watching this, just do it.
Right.
And no matter, and don't let people or things get in the way of what you're trying to accomplish. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You didn't let that happen.
Fail your way forward, man.
Fail your way forward.
Right.
That's funny. Failure your way forward.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Brother.
Appreciate
it. It's been good, man.
Yeah,
like I said, it's great to see you, man. I love you, man. I'm glad we had a chance to get you on here, man. And we look forward to having you back on.
Yeah. But you're not gonna get out of that easy. Because we're gonna put it on camera right now.
What's up?
We gotta get in this ring one of these days. We got this far one of these days.
Look, hey, I'm down for that.
I had the gloves out.
Bro,
one of these days we got to get in the ring, man.
If you would have told me we was gonna be here at B&B Boxing, man.
Red let us in, man. He let us in to do this. So
we'll be back.
And shouts out to B&B, for letting us in. They got a great gym, and it's a community gym. So it's really dope.
All right.
I appreciate you, big dog.
All right, love you, bro.
All right, hold. One more thing.
Yes, sir.
For all the people that are watching, and I know you probably do this all the time, but how did you guys get your talk show? How did it start?
This platform here?
How did this platform start?
Man, I'm gonna tell you.
We'll end it that way.
Look, I met JD, man, through what it is, because he's a videographer. When you're an actor, you find yourself becoming in contact with people who shoot video.
Yeah. Or people in the same business.
In the same business, we did it through just through networking. Like I said, I was involved with the Black CEO. He was involved with the Black CEO, and he's like huge in Kansas City.
Okay.
And like I said, if you've seen his work. If you just follow his work, you can see what it is that he does. And I had always talked to him. I said, hey man, look, I got a project that I want to work with you on, because I've seen his work and the quality of it. The quality of his work matched the work that I saw when I was doing movies in Chicago, when I was working on film sets in Chicago. And I was like, the quality was, if the quality, when I looked at the quality, it was either just as good, if not better. And I knew I wanted to work with him. So the beautiful thing about meeting JD is you have two talents that come together that work.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? That play hand in hand with each other. Like I said, like sometimes you get people that come together, and sometimes they come together and they compete.
Okay.
It's like you got two people saying, hey, I got this project, I do the same thing that you do, and then next thing you do, they end up breaking up, they ain't even friends no more.
So y'all didn't know that did y'all know that y'all was part of the same organization before y'all got together?
Same organization?
Yeah.
Well, not so much the same organization, but in the same sort of field of work.
Okay.
Like I said, I have a talent that I can bring, being in front of the camera, and he has his talent that he brings being behind the camera. When you bring the two together, you got a project, man, that just pops.
So it's
like for example, if I was shitty in front of the camera, what good would I do him? And vice versa. Why would I look, like for example, I've worked in front of the camera with people who just weren't good behind the camera. Okay. And when you look at the finished product, you don't want to share that with nobody. You see what I'm saying? So you got to have those two talents. It's like if you wanted to be a fighter and you got a crappy coach.
Oh, yeah.
You just ain't gonna do well, man.
You're right.
You see what I'm saying? You see when Costamano left Tyson.
Yeah, bro. And thank you. Thank you. I tell people all the time, but it's not even Costamano. The original coaching staff he had. It's not just Costamano. It was somebody else behind this that was with Costamano. If he wouldn't have left his original coaching staff, Tyson probably still be champion.
Yes, you're right, man.
But man, I'm glad you guys are doing this, man. And you guys came all the way from Kansas City to Omaha to do this, man. So that to me, that shows me how serious that your program is. So you guys make sure you tune in.
And I still love the city, man.
Yeah, man. See?
I still love the city.
No, but that's good though. You and it's good that you came back to do it. So,
yes,
Brad,
sir.
Man,
yes, sir.
Appreciate you,
my
big
brother.
dog. Appreciate you.
All right.
Well, hopefully I have to go to the toilet after this pasta y'all gave me. Okay, and they bought some Kansas City pasta. So, what? Say, how you gonna be over there? How you gonna be over there off camera? They trying to explain the seafood if I go to the toilet.
It's seafood and heavy cream in there.
Seafood and heavy cream. Heavy cream.
Yes, heavy cream to make the sauce.
So she said heavy cream.
Yes.
That's what she said.
Okay, that means
it's gonna hit heavy, bro. It's gonna hit heavy. It's gonna hit heavy, big dog.
I was telling Jeff Clay.
Oh man.
That's sphincter muscle, boy. That sphincter muscle gonna be working.
She give me heavy sauce? Oh, jeez, man. Come on.
Oh man.
Oh, you gonna set it off camera? Heavy sauce. I'm gonna need some blood thinners.
We still rolling, man. We still rolling. Oh man. Oh my goodness.
All this going in. I'm already on the timeline while we going through. I'm gonna put this here.
Heavy cream. Hold on, I don't like the way you describing that. Okay, heavy cream.
Look, before we came, I sent her some of your videos so she'd know who you are. I think she done seen. She's like, oh, he gonna need heavy cream.
Heavy cream, huh?
Yes, that's what you use.
Man, can y'all give me a conclusion to the show?
Okay, all right, okay. We're gonna edit it. All right.
Yes,
Now
so-
go ahead, wrap it up, though.
Man, look, man,
See, that's why we can cut this up. We can cut this up, ladies and gentlemen.
Man, look,
All
you
right.
know, like I said, I appreciate being down here, B&B Boxing.
Yep.
You know, Bud Crawford's gym.
Yep.
And everything, man.
You left here. You left here from CW Gym,
Yes.
CW Boxing Club. Now you're up here, Bud Crawford's gym.
Yes, sir.
There you go.
Yes, sir. My brother.
I appreciate you,
yes,
big dog.
sir. Appreciate
ball on ball crime.
you. Ball don't ball.